we're back here. So, well, thank you very much. This is, in fact, the Tim McLoone Radio Show with my co-host, Amy Broza, and our audience here at upstairs in, where are we? We're in Asbury Park, I believe. We're in Asbury Park. Mm-hmm. But we were just speaking about our restaurant up in West Orange and the Atlantic Room at the Pier House in Long Branch. And the reason I have to have those two is because I've got 3 children in high school right now, and one of them is determined to go to college for some reason.
Silly.
And because we believe in nepotism, our first guest on our first show here on AM 970, The Answer, is the answer to most of my problems in my life, and that's my son, Jack McLoone. Hello, Jack.
Nepotism makes the world go round.
First of all, you spoke over the applause. They were applauding for you, and you spoke. So let's get this
You can do it
together.
again if you really want.
No.
He is his father's son.
Oh, I don't think so, actually. You'd have, the mom had a lot to do with this, to say the least. Anyway, how we doing, bud?
I'm just so enthused to be here. I mean, you're like, oh, Jack, you're doing this. And then kept feeding me misinformation all weekend. Oh, you're coming. And I'm in the car, and I'm here.
All right, so maybe you are my son. So one of the reasons we asked Jack is that he's looking forward to having a career in broadcasting, which may end tonight, actually, or this morning, rather.
Highly possible.
It's very.
Yeah.
This could be
very,
it.
Very
this,
possible.
but otherwise, you keep this loop, and it's what you use to get your jobs in the future. Jack is, among other things, in his 17-year-old life, and isn't that scary that there's yet another 17-year-old driver on the roads? Just what we need. We need more of those.
Can I leave early?
We need more. Well, he's going to let you know when he's going. So
Perfect.
Yeah, but Jack's all about sports, really, and. You want to make a career of this, I believe. You think?
Yeah, that's the goal, to do sports broadcasting of some sort. And maybe if the radio hasn't fallen apart by then, do radio still.
Okay. Nicely put.
I mean, yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, because your age, when I was a kid, and when I was 17, let's say, we were not burdened with too much information about the people that we kind of idolized as athletes. You might hear that Mickey Mantle drank too much. That might slip out. My father used to always tell me, Babe Ruth didn't used to look like that. He wasn't that big guy. He was this amazing athlete, and then he started eating and drinking too much and smoking cigars, whatever.
Babe Ruth had 6 hot dogs and like 10 minutes down the
there.
Yeah.
So we weren't burdened with all this information about performance-enhancing drugs and different things about people's personal lives. It just didn't come up. It was a person in a uniform. So what is it like for somebody your age to, in a sense, to idolize today's athletes?
Well, it was interesting, just a side note, I guess, when you said that you didn't hear anything about PEDs back when you were rooting for baseball when you were younger, is that there were PEDs in baseball when you were younger, which is kind of learning stuff as I've grown older. Because originally I was so against PEDs when I was younger. When the first came out.
Yeah, the performance-enhancing drugs
when
for people listening, yeah.
When I was around 10 or 11 was when they first really came out with, Mark McGwire was cheating, all those guys were cheating. And it really rubbed me so wrong, like, how could they do that? But as I've learned that they were part of the game for so long, and not that obviously you don't condone it, but that you realize that was what in the games have become, I guess, I don't know, I don't care about it as much. I think it's a part of the game, and obviously it shouldn't be in it, but it hasn't really tainted it as much as I thought it originally had.
The only thing we ever heard about was amphetamines. People would call greenies or whatever. Yeah. And, in a 162-game season, that was, it's a sense it's like high-end caffeine.
Yeah.
As long as you control it and you're careful. And there were no overdoses. There were no stories in the paper. No one was getting arrested. No one was on trial. No one was appearing before Congress to talk about this. Whereas somebody your age has grown. I mean, how does that keep a 17-year-old from being cynical about sports in general?
Well, I don't say it necessarily keeps you from being cynical. I think I've grown to accept it almost to an extent that, like with the Hall of Fame coming recently with the Hall of Fame inductions, was that I don't understand
the football one?
No, the
baseball.
Well, the baseball one. The football one was recently too, but with the baseball one was that it's hurting guys who no one has ever proved, at least of the group that's going on, Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire, were never proven to have taken anything. It was all hearsay technically. I mean, Ryan Braun and those guys have all been tested positive and gotten out of it, how they got out of it. But I guess because for so long it was all, there was talk for a while too. It was part of it. You could kind of brush it off, I guess. I guess it is almost an innocent way of looking at it that I've grown to look at it, just so I can still love baseball and not feel bad about it.
I mean, I think everyone looks for innocence in sports.
Exactly, yeah.
We do. I mean, we want to believe that there are true underdogs. And now Amy is an inveterate hockey fan. I mean, I mean, this is Miss Ranger.
So trying not to interject here, but go ahead.
No, but well, if you want to know about her as a Ranger fan, her cell phone, the back of it is the Ranger logo.
As it should be.
And her goal in life is to drive the Zamboni between periods.
And sing the national anthem.
I think driving the Zamboni is everyone's main goal.
But
Even if
Thank you.
even if you don't like
High
hockey,
five.
because driving a Zamboni seems like the best job ever.
Right?
And by the way, radio high fives are fabulous.
Doesn't matter.
It's got to be louder. That was a.
Oh,
there
okay.
it is.
That would be a little better if we'd actually heard it. I don't know. But Amy, though, it was funny, though, when Ron Duguay,
Right.
one of the great Rangers in the history of the
Right.
team, came into the Pier House and we were playing that night.
Right.
Our
Right.
band, Tim and the Shirleys, we were at the Pier House in Long Branch, which is open 7 days a week and has a lovely Sunday brunch and has a second floor of the Atlantic Room that is a wonderful place to have. But I digress. So Ron Duguay is sitting like literally 8 feet in front of you.
That's right.
And I had no idea, first of all, that he's like 6'3" or
Yeah,
something. He was
he's a
a
big
huge
guy.
I think of the people I knew as ice hockey players, like my roommate in college, before they had masks and helmets. Not good.
Right.
He'd call me up, and he wouldn't even say hello. He'd say room 310, and get me a burger.
Because his mouth is probably
'Cause
wired
he
shut.
Took
from
a
the night
puck off
before.
the head. He was a goalie. But anyway, Ron Duguay sitting in front of you, and he loved the band and loved you.
It was awesome.
And so tell everybody what happened shortly thereafter.
Well, we were talking about Holiday Express, who Tim just explained is the charity organization we work with. And I mentioned that that's how the band knew each other, because we had all played in the area and we all work with Holiday Express. And he said, they asked about the charity, and he goes, well, if you ever need anything, let me know. And I thought that was such a generous offer. He barely knew us, and it was so kind of him. And he said, let me give you my email address.
And you immediately freaked out.
I said, seriously? So I have his email address, and I emailed Ron Duguay. I said, really? So we have lunch.
No, but
every
the
now
better
and
one.
then.
No, but the better one was
Yeah.
when you called me and told me that you had an
Oh,
email.
yeah, I have an email that says Ron Duguay. Like,
An email
really?
coming in, R. Duguay.
R. Duguay, that's such a crazy.
For a lifetime. He still broadcasts Ranger games, so
Yes, he
he's
does.
still very much a presence. I don't even know how we got over there,
That was
Jack.
that was
I
a
don't know.
tangent of tangents.
But
from two different
but I
sports.
think what I was saying was we were looking for innocence in sports, and as you know, I work with Seton Hall University basketball, and I love that job. I announce their games in the arena, and we do game operation stuff. And you look at the college kids, and even so many of them have been exploited since they were almost literally like 7 or 8 years old. Some young kid on the playgrounds of Brooklyn or wherever, or Peoria for all we know, gets discovered early. And they start shaping their lives and pushing them into certain AAU teams. I mean, it's really just so difficult to look at this and to not be jaded about it.
Yeah.
It really is.
I mean, if you think about the innocent sports, was there any time more exciting than Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa going after Roger Maris's record? At the time, that was the most exciting thing anyone ever seen.
Yeah.
Just mashing home runs night after night, and they'd come down to the wire at the end of it.
But
It's
the
just-
funny
yeah.
part about Sosa was he'd already been caught putting lead or
corked
whatever
his-
it was,
corked
and he
his
corked
bat.
his
Corked
bat.
his bat. Lead in his
He
bat wouldn't work.
I don't. Yeah, lead wouldn't work. That would probably
That'd
slow
probably
your
be- that'd
swing
be a
down
problem.
quite a bit, wouldn't it? And it's good of you to,
Lead.
as you do in real life, point out my
His
mistakes.
hands would probably fall off
But-
at some point.
But he broke a bat, and there was all
Yeah,
cork on the
cork, yeah.
inside of it. So I don't think anyone was terribly surprised that maybe he was trying something else too. But anyway, Jack's going to be visiting us in future weeks to help pay for his college education. And
Pull my weight somehow.
doing his, this isn't a sports show, but certainly sports has been a big part of my life and Amy's and Jack's now too. So he's going to bring us his unique perspective. And what we're really just trying to do is build up his college applications.
Unique was the most flattering word
front
you
of
could use
all of
there.
you.
Thank you for that one.
Yeah. We're just using the audience here to get Jack into college. That's the only plan here. But young John Francis, thanks for being here on our debut show.
I guess it was okay.
You get a free dinner.
That's okay.
We'll be back in just a few minutes with some more great guests.